Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a dynamic effort lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, be greatly appreciated. Alright, I've come to realize that for me, putting a heavy weight on my back more than once a week, just not great for recovery. I'm going to do mostly speed pulls, and for any extra leg work, I'm simply going to do belt squats. I'm not even going to speed squat anymore. I feel like I get more out of speed pulls. They're easier to recover from. They train more total muscles, right? I care about my deadlift more than my squat going into worlds. Well, I beat myself up. Same thing with the heavy good mornings. I'm going to do them once a week. I'm going to do them on the same days I squat. So max effort day, I'm always going to squat, and I'm going to alternate a good morning with a deadlift. And, again, the whole idea here is that what I find as I experiment with this stuff, the longer I train, particularly as a master's lifter, and this is kind of where the gold is. This is the stuff that people who are younger, they're not serious lifters, or they are and they're really young. They don't understand recovery is the name of the game. And I get a lot of younger coaches who try to give me advice on stuff who you can tell have never in their life coached lifters over 40, like who are serious high-level lifters. You can tell they don't have any because they would break them. Hey, they would break them. At the end of the day, recovery, hypertrophy, those things are the name of the game. Hey, that is how we stay strong for decades under the barbell. And in this case, I have belt squats. I have other ways to build my legs. As long as I get a heavy squat in once a week, I'm good. And we just have to hypertrophy the muscles. And like I said, I get more out of speed pulls, and they're easier on my recovery. So that's what we're going to do. And in keeping with this theme, since this is pretty much, a deadlift day for me, it's a good time to throw in some extra true upper back work, not even rows. So I did some upright rows, pretty heavy, and yeah, they're loose form. I don't care. They work. My upper back is big. It's growing. So, 3 sets of 10 on these, and then I do some laterals behind it. Gives me some extra shoulder work. Then I'm not forced to focus on it as much on my bench press days, right? I can do rows that hit the lats. I can do inclines and stuff, that do work delts to some extent. In fact, incline is one of the best front delt exercises ever. Its chest development, I think, is overhyped a little bit, right? It doesn't grow your chest any better than flat bench. That's what the data shows. Great shoulder exercise. And it's still a great chest exercise. It's just that so's the bench press. You could argue it's maybe a little easier on recovery. And it has great carryover to the bench. But, I look at these movements and go, well, these add to my squat and my deadlift. Sure, they will. That upper back, everything more stable, particularly these because of the extra grip training. Right, so we just build the whole shoulder girdle. Right, we build the shoulder girdle to go with the speed pulls. And I won't necessarily do this extra shoulder work on the max effort days because we're going to do good mornings. We squat. We do all that stuff. So on those days, we'll make them true lower body days. But, at the end of the day, upper back traps, all that stuff, they can never really be too big for us as strength athletes. There is carryover to all 3 of my big lifts. We could argue even if you cared about the overhead press, the extra upper back work combined with benching will build a massive press. Right? We've seen it plenty of times. So, again, 3 sets of each movement. And that's the thing I'm finding, again, more and more, other than stuff like reverse hypers or band work or whatever. I don't know that I need more than 3 sets of an exercise. 3 quality sets, add a second exercise. Right? Add a second exercise if you need more work, just like I did there. It's like I do with my triceps, everything else. Right? Add a second exercise. I don't think we should beat ourselves up with too much volume. It's the same thing, the issue I get when I get coaches who are like, oh, you need to do way more benching, or you need to do way more of this. And it's like, well, you know, you just beat yourself up. It's going to have overuse issues. These are not technical lifts. You know, that's the thing with powerlifting. I don't know why so many people are insistent that you need all this technique work. Like, it's literally ludicrous. It's a ludicrous idea. These are not highly technical lifts. And even if you perfect your technique from having good technique to great technique, what are you talking about? 0.5% on your max? So what does that take you from a 400 bench to a 405 bench? Maybe. I mean, we could debate these things. Same thing with squatting, pulling. I mean, again, we're talking good technique, not terrible technique. Like, you're proficient. You can arch, you can stay tight, you have leg drive. Right? Squatting, you've kind of found your leverages, you can keep your chest up. Okay. Deadlift, you know where to place the bar in the start position. You know how close it needs to be to your shin. You lock your lats in. Right? If you can do the basics, you can perform these lifts at an elite level if you're big enough and strong enough. So just get stronger. Focus on body composition. Focus on recovery. And you know what? This sort of stuff works better. This gives us better hypertrophy. Do a couple different exercises. You know, even here, my glute ham raises, I'm doing 5 sets. Do I really need the 5 sets? I do all these reverse hypers. I did speed pulls. I do good mornings before I do these on my max effort days. We're getting plenty of volume for all these muscles. And again, we're working a couple different functions of each one, no matter what. Right? Maximize development. Avoid overuse. Know what beats you up the most. Be careful with it. Right? That's how it works. That is how it works. I didn't realize, so I saw this footage, how bad I cut my head shaving this week. I didn't realize I even cut it at all. Right? I didn't even realize it. Guess I did. Thought I had a minor nick a couple days ago. Who cares at the end of the day? But yeah, we did tens today on the belt squat. And I notice it's not that bad on my tendons with that narrow stance. Right, we go narrow stance deep, just like an Olympic squat. You know, because I think I'm just going to Olympic squat. We'll just Olympic squat in meets. Right? It's easier on your hips. I'm thick enough that I'm strong at it. I feel like I'll be able to Olympic squat 600 at some point next year, by the end of the year. Right? By Worlds or North American next year, I'll probably have a 600 squat in regular raw. Masters too. You know, just get your legs thick enough, get your back strong enough to support it. All right, after that, we pushed progression on the reverse hypers. I went up again. Managed to get all my reps as desired. I got my 5 sets of 10 with at least a rep or 2 added on the last set. You know, I'm approaching the weight limits of this machine, unfortunately, though. And that's okay. Not worried about it. We don't have to try to pass the limit. We can add reps at a certain point. Just add reps. Be fine. And I feel like, again, this gives me great deadlift carryover. I mean, really, if I were to talk about building my deadlift, say speed pulls and reverse hypers, really the foundation for me. It's my foundation. And I'm not saying other stuff doesn't contribute. All the rowing, you know, the good mornings, the glute ham raises, all those things contribute. But if I were to really narrow it down, I think the speed pulls, I think the reverse hypers, that's really where it's at. Because there's the most carryover total off these, right? And the grip even. There's even grip training on the reverse hyper, right? We have the recovery in, we have the restoration in. It's working pretty much the same muscles as a stiff leg deadlift. You know, the only thing we're not getting is the quad drive. But I just did belt squats. And I did the speed pulls that use that quad drive off the floor anyways. So we're in a good place. All right, we're in a good place. And you know, after this workout, I felt refreshed. Like when I went to start doing it, I'm just like, I don't want to put a weight up on my shoulders. My neck hurts, my head hurts. And then went with the other plan, and yep. And I would say it might be different for someone else who really struggles with squatting, and maybe their legs are lagging behind, which is usually the case. If your squat sucks, it's because your legs are small. 9 out of 10 times. You know, then they will definitely want the speed squats. Just saying, I personally feel like at this point in the game, I don't need them. I've squatted big numbers without doing them. I've squatted big numbers without much actual squat volume. So, you know, we're good. Focus on the things that matter. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.